Meanwhile, in the outskirts of London, England, inside the Dragon Park Academy in the Great Hall, several people are enjoying their brekkie. Let's get to Ashley and John's table, and as they enjoy their brekkie. And as John sent some wrong to his wife, "Honey, you okay?" "No. I have this horrible feeling." "You worried about what Frank and Mimi are up to?" "It's more than that. It's what Oliver told us." "Oi, we're gonna handle this in our own fashion, yeah?" "Why do I get the feeling there's more to what you're saying?" "Fine. I have a feeling that somebody's already in grave danger." Meanwhile, Matt came in and walked past Ashley and John's table towards another table which is on the other side where Aaron and Julian are, and arrived and sat by Aaron. Another year has begun, which means a whole new term with Miss Drake. Yeah, looking forward to that. We only got a few years till we're out of here. Meanwhile, in Kyle's room, Kyle's lying in bed thinking, till someone knocked on the door. It's open. And as Taylor came in, and Kyle saw, and as he sat up just as Taylor closed the door and went to where he is. "Taylor, what brings you here?" "I need to talk to you." And as Taylor went and sat at the foot of Kyle's bed, facing him. Meanwhile, in Oliver's room, Oliver got his stuff. And as he headed to the door, and arrived and opened it, and saw it's Tina. "Oh. Now hopefully you ain't going for a runner. Or how did you know where I was?" "It doesn't really matter, mate. Point of the matter is, I found you. I need a favor." "I really don't owe nothing to you." "Yes, I know that. So drop the attitude." "Let me face that again. What can I do for you?" Meanwhile, in Paris, France, at the Good Charm Hotel in Karen and Bradley's suite in the bathroom, Karen's finished lighting the candles by the tub with bathwater inside. And as she came out of it back to their bedroom and stopped. Something's going on and I don't like it. Meanwhile, in the ballroom, Claire, Greg, Rachel, Gwen, Angela, Sean, Isabella, and Vince are talking. "Did you call them over?" "No. Your mother and I realized what a foolish idea sending 4 kids unsupervised to a different country. We have Hannah, Ryan, Carol, Steve, Karen, and Bradley. Dude, you know that's not the same." "You mean because they're not cops, right?" "Guys, we just want what's best for you lot. You know what? Since this is a family moment, we're gonna let you lot talk amongst yourselves. We'll see you later." And as Isabel and Vince walked away, leaving the ballroom holding hands, while the others continued talking. "You two are unbelievable. Actually, I think I know why they're here. You don't trust me here with Ricky." "You know fully well that's not true. But since you brought it up, Dad, lay off her, will you?" "What's going on?" "Because whenever you lot gang up on the person, there's surely a reason for it." "Dad, come on. You two are clearly jet-lagged." "Wrong. Our minds are ever so clear. So start talking." Meanwhile, in the storage closet, Thomas is lying in the ground unconscious with a bloody knife in his right hand. And as he slowly begins awoken and notice he's holding something in his right grip. And as he looked at his right hand and saw a bloody knife. And as he quickly sat up and dropped the knife. And as he began looking around, wondering to where he is. Meanwhile, in a common area, Jan and Charles are talking. Where the hell is he? We checked everywhere. It's like he vanished. You think his parents are here? How should I know? Okay, we're gonna have to split up. And oh no, this isn't some movie. We need to stick together and keep looking. There's nowhere else to look. This is a big hotel with so many rooms and maybe a passageway. I am not gonna stop till he's found. And as they continue looking, unaware that Miles accidentally ran into Jan, which Charles saw. Dude, watch where you're going. Charles, pack it in. Anyways, why are the police here? Alright, you didn't hear this from me, but somebody was stabbed to death here. What do you mean stabbed to death? Dude, now I know you're not a wanker to not figure out that he's dead. Oh no? Enough! Do you know who it is? No. Figure that out for yourselves. And as Miles walk away, and as Jan and Charles head towards the entrance, and arrive and saw police presence all around, and a coroner van with the coroners there, with a stretcher with a body covered up. Oh my God. What is it? I hope it's not who I think it is in that bag. Meanwhile, in the outskirts of London, England, inside the Dryden Park Academy in the Great Hall, Ashley and John are talking. I assure you that all the families are fine. John, don't you do that to me. Don't you dare. I wouldn't lie to you. Now, you're thinking about this too much. You know, you may be right. Between the two of us, we've managed to build a powerful family, and I, for one, couldn't be more proud. And as Joshua approached to where they are and sat with them, which they saw, I'm sorry, we didn't know you want us old folks around your mates. Relax, there's only a few of us here. Meanwhile, on the other side, Matt, Aaron, and Julian are talking. You worried about the colonies. Now I know I shouldn't be, but the matter, mate, they can't touch us here. True, but it hasn't stopped what, hey, we promised not to mention that. I'm sorry. Maybe the reason to why my parents sent me here along with you two lot, including Brody Carter, well, Aaron, Brody, and I are only here on a scholarship, thanks to your parents. Yeah, they didn't want to split the Four Musketeers. Besides, Brody along with everyone else are on their way back as we speak. Meanwhile, in Kyle's room, Taylor and Kyle are talking. What's going on? My life has really gotten complicated. Complicated how? I really don't want to disclose too much. I need you to pose as my boyfriend. Gonna need a little bit more to feed on. Taylor, you can trust me, yeah? Although, I don't even know much about you. Why don't we change that? Meanwhile, in Oliver's room, Oliver and Tina are facing each other at Oliver's door. Can I come in? Or this is just gonna be a staring contest? And as Oliver stepped aside, just for Tina come in, and as Oliver closed the door, and as he turned and faced her just as she went and sat at the foot of his bed, I need a favor. Okay. Ask away. And as Oliver came to where she is, your parents are on the board at the Brooklyn Hospital, yeah? What about it? You want me to ask them to offer you a job there? Practicing medicine is one of my many special talents, and I would like to use them as such. Such as what? Look, can you do it or not? Yeah, I'm gonna need an answer to why you want me to ask me parents when you can do it yourself. Meanwhile, in Paris, France, at the Good Chum Hotel in Karen and Bradley's suite, Bradley came in, and as he closed the door and turned and saw a romantic setting in the living room, just as Karen came in from the balcony, and Bradley saw her. There you are. I was getting ready to send out a search party for you. Really? Yes. Anyways, I'm glad you're here, and I hope you're free. I'm all yours. And as Karen came to where Bradley is, and a why? Ooh, I likes that. And as they begin kissing each other, and pull back. Happy New Year, love. Happy New Year's. So what's all this about? I think it's about time I show the man who I love with all my heart, body, and soul to why he's still irresistible today. Meanwhile, in Mildred and Cole's room, Mildred and Cole are sitting in bed talking. You know, we can come back here after graduation. Really? We can do that? Of course we can. We have the whole world at our fingertips. We're just gonna have to get past a few obstacles along the way. You mean us revealing our marriage to your parents? That's the one. I have an idea. Let me guess. We get engaged after high school, and then I know it's a long wait in keeping our marriage a secret and all. But if you want to rip that bandage off sooner, just do me a solid and give me some sort of warning. Of course. Alright, now that that's sorted, enough talking. I want your body all over my body. That I can certain much do. And as they begin kissing each other, resulting with Cole getting on top of Mildred. Meanwhile, in Carol and Steve's sweet room in the bedroom, Carol and Steve are lying underneath the covers in bed, basking after their lovemaking. Wow. You wasn't kidding when you said you make love to me. That's what I do. I see. And as someone knocked on the door, are you kidding me? I put the D&D sign there for a reason. Maybe it's room service, you know, for a complimentary meal. I very much doubt that, but I'll send them away. And as Steve got up and got his robe on and hid out the bedroom in the front area and arrived at the door and got it. And it's two officers with a detective there. Detective? Officers? What's going on here? Are you Steve Graham? Yeah, this is him. Sorry to do this, but we're gonna need you to come with us to identify someone. What you mean? A dead body? And as Carol came by, Steve in her robe, seeing the two officers and the detective there. Meanwhile, by the entrance, Jan and Charles are talking. Look, we don't know for sure if that could be your best mate in there. How can you be so calm? If so, I think I know who did it. What do you mean by that? Thomas told me he and Ricky got into it. Let me guess. Over me sister, right? What are you doing here? And as Jan and Charles turned and saw Thomas approaching to where they are. Oh my God. Dude, it's good to see you. And as Jan ran and hugged him. And as Thomas returned the favor, resulting in them hugging each other while he's glaring at Charles. And as they pull away, What happened to you? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I was on my way to my room, and then suddenly I was knocked up and placed in a storage closet. Better yet, why don't I show you who I was? And as Thomas led Jan and Charles down the hallway. Meanwhile, in the outskirts of London, England, inside the Dryden Park Academy in the dining area, Ashley, John, and Joshua are talking. As you know, your grandfather and I are going to be heading back home soon. You really think it's necessary to be here? Your parents already explained the reason. Yes, and I get that. Overall, some of the guys, can we just want you to be at a safe distance? Tell me, did you two really spend your New Year's here at the school? Haven't we already told you that our love is unbreakable? Which means no matter where we go, the Grams and us gotta stay together. And as Miss Drake came to their table, excuse me, and Ashley, John, and Joshua saw her. I need to talk to you two. Please excuse us. And as Ashley and John both got up and followed Miss Drake, heading out the great hall. Walking past the table where Matt, Aaron, and Julian are, let's get to them while they're talking and noticing Ashley and John leaving with Miss Drake. Something's going on. Aren't you reading it a little bit too deep? Perhaps you're right. I don't know. They look very serious as Miss Drake went to where they are. Either way, we're sure bound to find out in the end. Any news, whatever it may be for the matter, spreads like wildfire here. Meanwhile, in Kyle's room, Taylor and Kyle are talking. I'm afraid I'm not following to what you're saying here. Get to know me and see where it takes us. All right, I can do that. Look, why don't I go and get some snacks and we can talk about it when I get back. Cool. For starters, my name is Taylor Osborne. Now I know what you're thinking. I am not one of the Osborne family. Wasn't exactly thinking of that. Anyways, why don't you head and get some snacks and I'll fill you in on my story when you return. Alright. And as Kyle got up and went and left his room. Meanwhile, in Oliver's room, Tina and Oliver are talking. The thing is, Carol and Steve aren't too fond of me at the moment. You do know they're planning to come to visit prior to coming home, yeah? Do you miss the real world? Rather than being trapped in a boarding school? I'm not trapped here. My parents, yes, I know they sent you to keep you from the Collins rap. But how do they know nobody works for them are here? Yeah, you can be surprised on how they hire kids or even young adults to pose as kids for the matter. Suddenly, someone knocked on their door. And it's Miss Drake who came in. And Tina and Oliver saw. Excuse me for interrupting. Oliver, your parents need to see you in the study. And as Oliver got up and went and left this room, just as Tina came to where Miss Drake is. What's going on? I might as well tell you before you hear it from another source. Tell me what? There's been some bad news regarding Carol and Steve's son. Meanwhile, in Paris, France, at the Good Charm Hotel in Karen and Bradley's suite in the bathroom, Karen and Bradley are making out in the club tub, with Bradley holding her in his arms. And as they pull back, thank you for being the loving husband you are. There's no other person I'd rather be with. And as they continue making out and pulled back, I cannot believe we have such a strong family. We do. and it's gonna continue to grow from here on out. Meanwhile, in Mildred and Cole's room, Mildred and Cole are lying underneath the covers in bed basking after the lovemaking. Boy, that was amazing. And to think that this is the second honeymoon. Are you ready for a third? And as Mildred looked at Cole, who saw, oh yeah. Look, I know you're wondering what the Cullens are up to when we return home. And I want to assure you that I am not gonna let them touch you. Thank you. So is your family ever gonna move out of Los Angeles? I doubt it. My older brother's a big-time producer there, along with my older sister who's a real estate agent. Not to mention my twin brothers are actors. The only family that still lives in New York is Mom, Dad, and my younger sister Dawn. Meanwhile, in the storage closet, Jan, Charles, and Thomas all came in. This is where you're woken? Yeah. I don't get to who knocked you out. Why don't you tell me? Mate, I think you got the wrong end of the stick here. Do I? How I know you didn't knock me out just so enough? Charles and I have been looking all over for you, dude. Fine. You really thought I died? Some dude told us someone got stabbed and all. You mean by this? And as Thomas pointed towards the bloody knife on the ground, which Jan and Charles saw. Wait. If you're not in that body bag, then who? Oh my God. And as Jan realized, and as she looked at Thomas, who noticed. Thomas, what the hell have you done? Meanwhile, in the front area where a lot of police presence is there, let's get to Carol and Steve, who are still in the ropes, went with the detective and the officers as they head towards the corner van. And soon arrive just as the coroners pull out the stretcher with the body bag. Alright, we need you two to brace yourself for what you look, man. I'm a detective from Brooklyn, New York, so I know the whole scenario. You said you want us to identify someone, yeah? Who could it possibly be? Show us. And a detective signaled the coroner, who in turn unzipped the body bag to reveal a body which Carol and Steve saw. Does he match the description of this ID? And as the detective gave Steve the ID, which is revealed to be Ricky Graham, and as Steve in turn nodded his head to the detective, who confirms the identity. Let me be the first to inform you both that we are deeply sorry for your loss. We'll give you lot a minute to process. And as the detective and the officers turn and walk away, while Carol feels that her whole world is starting to fall apart as her grief starts to kick in, and Steve noticed and came and hugged his wife, resulting in her hugging him back. And as they hug each other, as Steve holds Carol,